Good morning, everyone. As the board stated last night, the decision to strike by the Columbus Education Association is incredibly disappointing. We are very saddened by this unfortunate situation our family, our community, and most important, our children now face. Our offer to CEA put our children first and prioritized their education and growth. We believe we offered a generous compensation package for our teachers and provisions that would positively impact their classrooms and our students. Our offer was responsive to the concerns that CEA brought to us during the negotiation process. Our community's children are the board's priority, and our final offer, we felt, did reflect that. School does start on Wednesday, which means our children will be online learning. We know that this is absolutely not ideal, but we do have an obligation as the school district to continue education and supporting our students despite this current circumstance. We greatly value our teachers, respect them as educational professionals, and we will continue our path towards collaborating towards a solution to address what is in the best interest of our children. I will now take questions.
Will you tell us a little bit about the meeting that's planned tonight and what you plan to accomplish there at that meeting?
The Board of Education will be going into a special session this evening. This will be the first time the board has been brought together since the vote. So it will be a lot of discussion, briefing, next steps. There will be no public decisions. Those must be made, obviously, in public, so there'll be no voting tonight, but it's a chance for the board to contemplate next steps and hear a briefing as a group.
Can you say what the sticking points are currently between the two sides? How far apart are you on some of the issues?
We cannot, actually. We have not been informed of the reason that CEA has determined to strike. There is public information out there, but the board has yet to receive information about what are the sticking points. I will tell you that we are committed to working through this and look forward to continuing the process since they have issued their or began their strike.
Would you guys be open to resuming talks?
The board has been open this entire time. We continue to work. It's been 5 months, 22 sessions. We asked them to come back to the table after the final offer. Our children are our priority, and we will do what we need to do to ensure there's a resolution that's in their best interest. We do believe our best and final offer is incredibly fair, competitive, comprehensive, and addresses all of the issues CEA did bring to the bargaining table.
Can you describe some of the specifics of your final offer?
The specifics are outlined extensively in documentation that we have, but the things that we believe are incredibly important, help our students in the classrooms, help our teachers with their professional development, obviously compensation, adding new benefits. It's really a package that was created with student outcomes at the center and what it was we needed our classrooms and our teachers and our education system to start to be. And so, we're confident in the final offer.
A number of parents are saying, allowing their child to do this remote learning on day one, they consider that crossing the picket line, and a number of them are saying they're not willing to do that with their children. Will their children face any consequences, such as truancy, if that is the case?
So I certainly appreciate, as a parent myself, these decisions that families are making. I will say that the attendance rules, which are in Ohio law, are still applicable. And so it is extremely important that parents do understand what the consequences of that could be. These are things that we are required to do under Ohio law. And so if students do not attend, they will be marked absent.
Talk to us, I understand that one of your schools, it's Woodcrest, is a year-round school, and they went online today. Tell me about attendance there, and you know, our kids, is there teaching and learning going on? What about subs? Do you have enough subs already? Is this kind of the test run for the district in a kind of a microcosm?
So I have not been informed yet of specifics of how Woodcrest is doing. They are our full year school, so they have been back, and so they did do their transition to online learning today.
Do all the students in the district have a Chromebook on their person right now, or do those still need to be issued?
So students, because we did become a one-to-one district during these last few years, students were able to take their Chromebooks, laptops home. New students to district would be issued those. We did extensive work on that over the last week and a half. If any students or families do need a Chromebook, please call our central enrollment so that they can get connected to where they can get a Chromebook.
Same with repairs. We've gotten some parents that had some concerns about their current unit. If they need repairs or need to swap out, is that what they need to do?
Absolutely. Yes. You know, while not an ideal situation, laptops are an important aspect of education anyway, and so we want to make sure that all of our Chromebooks are issued and working in proper order. So please seek help if you need it.
Do they have hotspots for them as well, especially for people who don't have internet access?
Yes, there are hotspots available. Again, just contact our central enrollment fact line. Call any number. We will get you help.
Can you outline some of the specifics of your final offer in terms of compensation percentages? And one of the reasons I ask is the CEA said this morning that one of the things they wanted to see in writing was obviously there were investments made in some of the schools for HVAC systems and stuff like that, but they've said even the ones that have installation of HVAC have had issues. So they wanted pen to paper and writing guarantees that those issues were going to be addressed. They called, if that were to come to fruition, they said that would be a starting point.
So this is, first of all, CA has not said that to us, right? So that is not something that has been proposed in that manner. I will say the concerns of our community and our teachers regarding the conditions of our buildings are valid. That is why the board, the members that are sitting here on this board today ran, where most of us here are new since 2019. And we have worked to create strategy to actually fix the problem permanently. And that would be through dedicated funding in a permanent improvement capacity to ensure that there is regular maintenance, repair, and replacement. That is something our district does not have. The concerns of the community and what the teachers in particular are talking about right now, the board sees it, and the board has been working on it. What goes in the contract doesn't actually solve that problem. What solves the problem is the community coming together and putting the commitment behind our public education system and ensuring that our students have what they need. And the community also involves our taxpayers and voters. To fix the problem, we have to be able to step up together and say we are going to support these kind of efforts. And the board feels like we have systemic solutions to these problems.
So it sounds like you don't think that belongs inside the contract. That's more of a measure of a ballot referendum or financial issues, correct?
Correct.
Jennifer, I saw on some of the signs this morning while I was watching on television, some of the signs that talked about conditions in the building. Is that something that you're getting as this contract negotiation goes through? Are they conveying that there's concern over unlocked doors, mold in the school? I'm trying to remember some of the things I saw. But, you know, concern over the status of the conditions of the buildings.
Can you ask me that again when you say that? Are we hearing it in the teachers?
Signs on their picket signs, and like they talk about what they're concerned about, and you see things like rats in the building, unlocked doors, mold, those kinds of things. Are you getting that feedback from the teachers, or is this something new to you? No,
it's not new. These are concerns, and when we do know about them, they are addressed. You know, we know that all of our buildings are safe. Now, are they beautiful all times aesthetically? No, but they are safe, and we work with our health departments and other agencies that come and inspect. So there are things that need to be worked on, and some of our buildings are extremely old. And these are not new concerns, and that is why the teachers are frustrated. And so we did, in our final offer, include language about things that they were able to grieve, and expanded what they were able to grieve into the space of air conditioning. That actually wasn't part of it. But I also want to say that we have an amazing team of individuals through our other classified union, OPSI membership, that do a great job maintaining our buildings, keeping them safe. You walk into any building right now, those floors are sparkling. And so our buildings are safe. Are there problems? There are problems. And we do know, and we need everyone's help to help fix those.
Could the district do a better job of doing those with expediency? Because as we've seen, some of those repairs often get delayed or not made for weeks or months.
Absolutely. Right. But there's reasons why, right? And so I think it's really important to understand why sometimes that happens. First of all, through past decisions and policy and just where we are, when we, at some points in this district's history, had to cut budgets, it's operations that got impacted, right? So we're trying to overcome that. We know right now supply chain issue is a big problem, so we're unable to get parts and pieces for things that we need. We know that our internal systems about how tickets are put in, for example, are being worked on. There's always room to improve, right? We are an education system, and we must take every opportunity to have that growth mindset, even in operations. But what it does take, too, is for our staff, our teachers, anyone, to tell us and make sure that we know with expediency, because we want to fix conditions as soon as we can when we know.
So the district has kind of mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the amount of wage increases, it will be reflected in the 2024 property tax levy. And from our understanding as well, I think you all had mentioned 80+% of that will be wages and compensation. I'm curious about the total budget amount, if you have that, as well as specifically how much of that will be spent on wages and compensation.
So our district budget is, we run about we're about 1.5 billion and to 1.6 billion, right? And so majority of that on the operating side is for our staff. It's because we do our mission through our dedicated staff. So that goes to wages, benefits, retirement, all of that, vacation, all of that, including our new leave that we have just offered around parental leave. And so the way that school funding works is that there is a regular cycle where we go and ask the public for dedicated funds for operating. And so our regular cycle is actually 2024. And so no matter what these increases are, we have to go and ask the public for more money. And it goes, it's for over a certain period of time, and then we get allotments out of that each year through the tax cycle to fund schools. That's how it works. And if we don't like how that works, then we all need to come together and make legislative change to change school funding. But that is the way it works. Our budget, because our mission is driven by the people who are dedicated and work for us, is mostly to pay people.
Jennifer, one of the questions I'm seeing online and our viewers are asking us to ask you, they want to know, you started negotiations in March, right? So why is it taking so long to come together, and families are concerned that they're in the trick bag because it's a couple days before school starts and they don't know what they're doing? Can you address that and explain how that worked, and how would you answer those questions?
The Board of Education intentionally started negotiation on this contract as soon as we were able, and so that is why we started, in our case, actually a little bit early. And we were really hopeful that we would be able to, get this done well before school started, because again, we have very important issues as a district to work on together with all of our staff and community. So over the period of the summer, the 5 months that we negotiated, we put forth several offers. We did not always get counter offers. We ended up having to do a final offer. We did not get counter offers on certain things that we needed. This is all public information that many of you have already reported on. So at this point, the board has demonstrated that it has worked hard to try to come to a resolution with CEA. And at this point, we are where we are because CEA did not determine it wanted to be a collaborative partner at the negotiation table.
Jennifer, you said this is the final offer from last week. Is the only way out of this for the teachers to accept it?
We believe our offer addresses all of the concerns that CEA brought to the bargaining table. We have plans and strategy to address the real concerns that the community and teachers are bringing forward. We are fully committed to continuing dialogue, to seek a resolutions to close the contract so that our students can get back to the classroom. Our classrooms, our teachers, our students, their education is our priority. And so, you know, that's where we stand at the moment.
94% of teachers said this does not meet their concerns.
94% of the CEA members who attended. And, you know, it is that, you know, what we're talking about. It's the things that they're out there on their signs. Those are the things that we know they are upset, and we acknowledge we're upset. That's why we're here. That's why we're putting strategy in place, and that's why we need them to come join us to help make it make these changes happen. What CEA has proposed and what we have offered that addresses their concerns doesn't, in our opinion, actually solve the problem of what's on the signs.
So you're saying there's a different message that's being put out there publicly versus what's going on behind closed doors at the bargaining table?
Yes.
Will we see a date or time to come back together today before that meeting tonight?
At this moment in time, there is nothing scheduled. They just obviously did their strike last night, but we anticipate our federal mediator letting us know.
Are there any consequences for the teachers going on strike? I mean, is it the lack of compensation, obviously, or lack of health insurance? Can you, or is there discipline proceedings? Could the district at any point go to ODE and say, you know, this is a discipline matter, we don't think they've upheld that or anything like that?
Absolutely not, unless they do some sort of violation while they're out there. But it is their right to strike. We respect that right. We know the collective bargaining process can work. Issuing a strike is part of that process. So no disciplinary action will take place for teachers for choosing to strike.